See that? That's my cut list. What are we building? Stay tuned. We're building this and we're done. This is a 2x2 by 3 feet. It's going to become part of a leg. Making a Lego table for my nephew. It's going to open up. Well, one side's going to slide out, I guess, and open up. It's going to have, 9 different Lego bases. So on one side we'll have a 3, and the other side we'll have a 6, and that side's going to slide open. And let's get to it. Well, yeah, easier said than done. For those of you who watched the last video know that the majority of the footage I had on the build process of this Lego table deleted itself off my Mac. Literally just deleted itself. Didn't go in a recycle bin. I couldn't recover it. It was just gone.
Erased from existence.
Okay, so what do we do now? Well, I do have some of the footage, kind of the beginning cutting of the wood and the ending finishing up the project. So the other footage, I went ahead and took time to kind of illustrate what I think the build process would have shown if the video was 2D and had no animation. But that's the best we're going to get, and without that, we wouldn't have this video. So I apologize I didn't get this out last week like I hoped for, but better late than never. Oh, sorry about that. Let's put up that first illustration I made. Seriously. Come on, guys. We don't need that stupid effect anymore. Get rid of it. Okay, that's my light. So this is, I guess, the final table illustration, like what it would look like when it's done. Don't worry, I have videos of that, but I just thought I would show this first, and then you'll see the actual table at the end of the video, or you would have already seen it in the thumbnail anyway. And this is what it would look like with the top slid open. I don't really want this to be a long video, so I'm just going to kind of quickly go through these images and just sort of explain what we did in the build process, and actually a couple of them are what we could have done better. Okay, so now this is the main support structure. The legs would attach to the bottom, and the top connects to this either via support rails or the drawer slides. As you can see, there's only 2 pocket holes showing, but each of the side rails would get attached with pocket holes, and the base actually gets attached with pocket holes from the underside, which we'll see in the next image. Now this main section and the top section are very similar, but the main difference is, if you notice on the 2 edges, the base gets attached to the side rails with the pocket holes. But on the top, instead of the top getting attached to the side rails, it's the side rails that get attached to the top via pocket holes. And I'll point that out when we get to that illustration. Okay, so this would be if we flip the table upside down, and we're now looking at the bottom of the main structure. And this is where the pocket holes get attached to the side rails. And the reason the pocket holes are on the bottom is so you don't see it from the inside when you open up the table. And I actually do have some footage of me and my brother drilling some pocket holes, as well as a little surprise guest. What do you want to do? It's up to you. It's your video, go.
Not my video, it's your
You're staying in the line.
Whoa. Moving.
It's fine, it's fine. I would be good.
It's not going in this one.
Yeah.
No, no, no. You can't come out right now.
No.
He has no idea. We're making
No.
That's something cool. See all these pieces of wood? Look. You see all these pieces of wood?
Yeah.
We're making something for Ashton for Christmas. Can you look? See the little camera right there?
Yeah.
Can you say hi inside the camera? Look right there, and say hi.
Look right here.
Hi.
Right here.
Hi.
See the circle right there? That's where you gotta look, because that's where you're. If you look there, then you're gonna be looking at whoever's seeing the video,
Okay.
because we're making a big video. So you gotta look right there at that circle. Say, my name's Ashton,
My name is Ashton.
and I like to play with toys.
I like to play with toys.
And what's your favorite toys?
Robot nesting doll. It's gonna be a surprise.
It's a surprise for Ashton. And who's Ashton? Say, I'm Ashton.
I'm Ashton.
Alright, so this would be the top section if we flip it upside down. So if you notice again on the sides, you'll see now that the side rails are on the top of the base. So that's why the side rails get attached with the pocket holes rather than the base or top getting attached to the side rails. If that makes sense. And the main reason I did it that way is so when you're looking down on the top of the table, you won't see the side rails. And for the bottom, if you're looking at it from the side angle, we didn't want to see any of the base. And that is because it's made out of plywood, and I was trying to hide as much as the layers of the plywood I can. Now I did also get some edge banding, which is like a veneer that would cover the plywood edges. But ultimately, my brother just decided that we didn't need to do that, and it was fine the way it was. And as you'll see later, I had Lego strips. It's actually an off-brand of Lego, but it's like a rubber adhesive Lego strip, and I covered most of the plywood edges that are visible. I covered up with that. So these are the leg sections. As you can see, there's two sections that get pocket holed together, and then we use pocket holes to attach it to the main section of the table. And then we have that piece of 2x2 that I showed in the beginning. That becomes the main support of the leg, and you can see that in the image on the right. And you can see there's kind of a separation or a cut, and I will explain that next. So now you can see that the cut or separation is in fact separated. And we did this so as Ashton gets older, we can replace that section of leg or kind of move it up so that it raises the table. As you can see on the other side, it'll stick out from below, but it'll make the table higher. So when Ashton is older, his legs will still be able to fit under the table. You can pretty much make that as tall as you need to at that point. Now the reason for that extra little piece to remain connected to the base is it's an extra added support for the leg and the base technically. We are looking at the bottom side right now, so we actually screwed from the top side into that support structure. And that way the base is connected to that and the leg is connected to that piece as well. So again, just extra added support. And the black circle on the image on the left is just a little felt pad that we stuck down on each leg. So here we would attach the leg to the underside of the main structure. Now this is fine in a way, but also wrong. And that is because of the way we are pocket holing to the side rails. Because the side rail and the leg are both end grains, meaning you can see the layers, pocket holing to the layers like that pretty much splits the layers and not really is a good connection with the screw. Now these legs are fine because we do have that extra added little support, but technically we should have pocket holed into an edge like the way the base is. And I'll show you two examples in the next two images. This is one way we could have solved the problem, again by sticking another piece of wood in there that we could attach to the side instead of in the end grain. But this would have caused another edge to be shown from the side angle, and it's not something that I would have liked. If I were to build this again, I would do it in this way. And that is basically making the side rails and legs as one piece, or four pieces basically. Now this may cost more because you may be using more plywood. I'm not really sure, I haven't planned out the pieces or anything, but it will make a more solid leg and foundation, and you wouldn't see any end grain from the plywood. Alright, so this is how we attach the top section to the main support structure. This side is the one that doesn't slide, doesn't move at all, but I wanted to maintain the same style, look, and spacing that the top side would have. That way each side will match each other for when it's closed. And as you'll see in the next image, because the sliding side uses drawer sliders, I'd have to have a little gap in there for the space of the sliders. So I needed that same gap to be on this non-sliding side. And that is where those support rails come into play. Those rails are the same dimensions as the drawer sliders. And as you can see, it's on all three sides of the non-sliding top section. The support rails in the top section all get screwed in together from the inside of the table using regular screws. And I didn't know if this illustration would be enough, so here is a photo of the screws holding everything together through that support rail. And here's another photo showing the side section. You can see support rails and the drawer slides. So now here's the top section that does slide open. And I actually drew this image kind of wrong, but I did it on purpose because I wanted to show the drawer sliders. But if you notice, the arrow is going in one direction and the drawer sliders are actually coming out the other direction. And again, I just drew it like that so you could see the sliders. But those sliders should be going out the same direction with the top section, as technically the sliding section is attached to this top section with regular screws as well. But I don't really think I need to explain how drawers work. But I will mention that there is a support rail on the back side, which is leaving a gap, so when it closes you can still stick your fingers in there and pull it open. And it's also maintaining the spacing. Again, here is a photo of the drawer sliders. So this leads us to the videos I actually have, but not fully. I had two cameras going. One of them was a little closer than the other, and this would be the close-up one. So we're not going to have full coverage, but we'll have something. So as you can see, my brother is just dusting this off because we're going to go ahead and stain it right now.
Look at that. You see it?
Yeah.
What is it?
What is that?
It's a table.
What is
And
it?
what's on the table?
Let's put some Legos.
The table opens up and all the Legos are inside. Sit in your chair. One day I show you something. Ready?
Yeah.
Watch this.
Legos.
Open those up. They open up. And there's a bunch of Legos in there.
Yeah. This is a Lego.
Alright, let's just do those two for now. Here, let's close it for now. And I'll open those up. And now you can play with Legos on the table. Make big things in the out of Legos.
I can dump it out.
I wouldn't if you want to, but it's going to be a big mess you got to clean up. Oh, so you gotta be careful. Oh, Ashton. You gotta be careful. It's your cocoa food now. Oh, Ashton. Sorry. Good job.
You like that table?
What do you think?
Yeah.
It's good.
What are you gonna build?
I think it's going to house.
A house?
The pills.
Push them down.
You also have streets in there too. You can play on the ground with some streets. Alright, so this hold on. It opens and there's all the other Legos. You got a bunch. Those are all full of Legos, okay?
Did we show him the streets?
And look, you got. So this is the book that shows you how to build
I
things.
want this one.
Look at those.
I want this one.
This you can put on the ground, or you can put on top of here too. Let's just play with what you got now. Okay, watch your hands. Good job. All right.
So there's the finished product. As you can see, Ashton's already enjoying it.
And Legos are already on the floor.
And Legos on the floor. And dog almost shoot him up. So just remember to like, subscribe. Until next time. Do you like it, Ashton?
Yeah.